So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Caprice Hawkins, Director of Recruitment for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Thanks for joining today. I have with me Nick Crane. He is a big brother and also a member of our Dallas board. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of mentoring, um, how to give back, and how to get involved. And so, Nick, let's start with that. Tell me, why did you become a big?
Yeah, so I feel in my kind of childhood and early adulthood, there were several kind of pivotal moments in my life that, because of positive mentorship, be it family, friends, coaches, whatever it might be, helped guide me in the right direction. And I think those accumulation of positive events have ultimately helped me kind of get to where I am today. And so, being aware of that in my past, I've always put it upon myself to try to give back and mentor to others as well and see if I can make a similar impact on others' lives, whether that be big or small. And so I'd always known about Big Brothers Big Sisters, obviously a very large, well-known organization, but never had anybody to talk to about it or ask questions to until 2019. I was at an industry networking event and ran into somebody that was involved with the Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I could tell they were super passionate about it, and it really sparked my interest to at least go research, right? So I did some research, ended up applying, which was a really easy process, and from there, like, the rest is history. I've been matched for over 4 years now. Joined the board about a year ago. On the match side of things, it's one of those relationships I truly think will kind of go on forever. And it's been a life-changing experience for me. I've loved to see my little brother grow into a young adult, and I feel that I've learned as much from him as he has from me.
Good. So, tell us a little bit about your little brother. What's his
Yep.
name?
His name's Tyson.
Tyson.
When I matched with him, he was 9 years old, and I was fresh out of college. He's 13 years old now, so he's a teenager. And my favorite thing about him is that he likes to try a wide variety of things. So we've done everything from esports, like video game type stuff. We've gone and shot clays. More recently, maybe it's a teenager thing. He's been wanting to work out. Luckily, Big Brothers Big Sisters, with the partnerships that they have and the wide reach, we actually got him a free membership to the YMCA. And his big thing now is going and getting in shape and hitting the weight. So it's been a wide variety of things. For me, I think the coolest thing to see over the past 4 years is just his confidence level grow. From the time I met him at age 9 to 13 today, just a much more confident young adult. And again, I think it's going to last forever. He's a real part of my life. He's met my wife. He's met my dog. We've experienced so many things together, and I feel that in these 4 years, he's changed schools, he's changed houses, but he's had me as a consistent kind of male role model. And I think that even the smallest things that I've been able to do for him, and just have him, bounce ideas off me and just talk through certain things. I feel that my contribution has helped in his kind of growth into being a young adult and a teenager. And being a male mentor, I think it's important to highlight kind of why we're here today, the 30 Men in 30 Days campaign. Although it is the last day, we're on May 31st right now. The objective was to get some more male role models, male mentors, because, and you may have more data on this than me, Caprice, but 60% of our mentors are female and 40% are male. But when you look at the kids in need, it's kind of flipped. The kids are roughly 35% female and 62% male. So there's a discrepancy in how we can match. And so this campaign was really to kind of raise awareness and get some more male volunteers and try to get as many as we can, because the number's growing. But last I checked, we were at about 200 young men that are waiting on a mentor.
That's right. And we talk about the 30 Men in 30 Days campaign. We have 20 men today that have signed up in May. So we need 10 more to hit our goal. So that's hoping today we can get a big push to make up for that deficit. So I want to talk a little bit about just the impact of our mentorship. Can you share a little bit about really how our program impacts our kids?
Yeah, I think first of all, just from a perception standpoint, I think a lot of people believe or have this belief coming into this that they have to have a bunch of life experience or a bunch of money to do stuff with these kids, or they just don't feel qualified, which I can actually relate to because I felt that way kind of coming into it. And that's not the case at all. We've got great resources. We got match support specialists that really help connect the dots between you and your little and give you things to do and spark ideas and support you along the way. So just starting off, I wanted to mention that even the littlest thing can make the biggest impact in this program. Some of the statistics that kind of stick out to me over the years as I've looked online and talked to different people is 93% of youth in our program feel a sense of belonging and their mental health improves. 91% of our youth avoid risky and criminal behaviors. 99% promote to the next grade level. And then maybe my favorite is 98% of our youth graduate from high school and go on to either enroll in college, enlist in the military, or employed in their first year upon graduation. I think that just goes to show the mentors that get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. When you think about the impact that you can have, like just those numbers, all in the 90s, that is an incredible rate of success for the kids that come through our program.
Exactly. And so when we talk about those outcomes, I think it's important right now to talk about really how long we've been around. The Big Brothers Big Sister Agency of Greater Dallas has been in our community for 96 years, but our agency across the country is over 118 years old. So those outcomes that you just talked about are really outcomes that we've literally had for decades in our program. And it speaks volumes that the greater Dallas community has supported our organization for 96 years. And this whole entire time, we have been free for service for our kids. No child that comes to our program has to pay for these services. So let's talk a little bit about who our kids are. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yep. So we, as a Big Brothers Big Sisters organization here locally, support Dallas, Collin, and Rockwell counties. And as of today, we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 young people in the greater Dallas area that are looking for a mentor. Boys specifically, since we're talking about 30 men in 30 days, wait on average for about 2 years for a big brother. And we actually have some that have been waiting since 2017. Regardless of where you live in the greater Dallas area, there is a need, absolutely. And just to give some statistics here, like City of Dallas, we have 77 kids waiting. Grand Prairie, Mesquite, Rowlett, Garland, Lancaster, even out to Forney, DeSoto, and up into Collin County, in Plano, Allen, McKinney, Frisco. We've got 40 kids just up north that are waiting on mentors and 90 total waiting in Collin County. And so irrespective of where you live in the greater Dallas area, there is a need close to home. And so I'd encourage everybody, regardless of where you are, obviously we want you to apply, but at minimum, reach out to someone like Caprice, like myself, and just find out more about the program. I'm sure everybody has thoughts on why they may be nervous or worried to apply. We're happy to talk through that stuff with you.
Sure. Yeah. So that's great information about where our kids are. Our kids do come from all situations and backgrounds. Majority of our kids do come from low to moderate incomes and come from single parent households, usually a female head of household. And about a quarter of our kids are impacted by incarceration. Nick, can you talk a little bit about those specific kids that are impacted by incarceration?
Yeah. So on that front, you said 25% of the kids that we serve are impacted. A child who has one parent incarcerated has a 70% chance of being incarcerated themselves, which is an incredibly high number. And if they have both parents that have been incarcerated, that's a 90% chance of the kid being incarcerated. So breaking through that is super important. I think a lot of that we've talked about is kind of access and having a mentor, a role model, a consistent kind of figure in their life, and just allowing these kids to just crack open the door and see how much life they have in front of them. It's really easy to kind of be in the moment and just think about what you're doing now or what's going on in the next couple of weeks, but keeping these kids on track and realizing their potential is the biggest thing for me. Going back to the confidence thing, like there's so many kids in our program that have the potential to be future entrepreneurs and business leaders, and just showing them they have that potential is tremendous and can really combat those incredibly high numbers that we just talked about.
Old saying, a child can't be it if he can't see it. This we ask our volunteers just to show a child how you got to where you are today. We know that there's lots of opportunities in our community, but not equal access. And that's really what, you know, where volunteers can break those societal barriers and challenges that our kids have. No one in their home graduated from high school. How do they know what that looks like? And same for going to college or even having a professional career that beyond a minimum wage job. Kids can't see it, then they can't be it. So let's talk a little bit. Talk a little bit about the processes about becoming a big. Think back about your enrollment process and tell me what that that was like for you.
Yeah, so we have a couple of different programs and would love to talk through those so everyone's aware. But for me specifically, I did the community-based program, which is a 1-year commitment, although on average, those are much longer relationships where you see your little 2 to 4 times a month. And your match is based on A, proximity, and 2, kind of similar interests and background. So to actually apply for any of our mentorship programs, first step is just to go online. It's an online application, bbbstx.org, and there's a button that says Be a Big. If you click on that, you fill out the application. The process itself, you give a reference or 2, and you give consent for a background check. You complete your pre-match training, which is a self-paced program online. And then my favorite part is you actually have an interview with an enrollment specialist to try to understand you as a person, what you're looking for in your future little. And then they make that match so seamless. Like one of my biggest concerns coming in was, what if I don't have anything in common with my little brother? What if I can't help him because we don't have similar interests? And this interview, and I'm sure that the length depends on the person and how talkative they are and all that kind of stuff, just like anything. But it's a very in-depth interview, which I think is great. At the time, I was like, man, how long is this interview going to last? But then I realized the importance of them truly understanding you and what you're looking for and making that perfect match. Because at the end of the day, and in my situation, this is a match for life. And so they take that very, very seriously. They have that interview. And then the fun part after that is you meet your little, and from there you're off to the races and you're seeing them a couple times a month. And in my head, that was another concern, was the time commitment. And I think going into it, I was picturing that 2 to 4 times a month being like all day Saturday, you're spending 10 hours in a day. And while there are some times that you are spending, multiple hours at events with your little brother or little sister, it could also be as simple as grabbing dinner. There's been multiple times over the past year where I'll go pick up Tyson, we'll go grab dinner, catch up, talk for an hour and a half, and I'm home by 7:30. And so the time commitment piece doesn't have to be as significant as many people think.
Great. And then, so you mentioned our community-based program. That is where most of our kids are waiting. And we enroll in that program year round, but we have 2 other programs that we have that we're enrolling now for fall enrollment. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yep. So we have 2 other programs. One is the school-based program, which is also a 1-year commitment with more elementary age children at Big Brothers Big Sisters partner schools. And that's another situation where you see the child 2 to 4 times a month during the school year only. And so in that situation, you kind of need the flexibility to be able to see them during the day. And then we have Mentor 2.0, which is a high school e-mentoring program with a small in-person component in which you're basically emailing, chatting, and then occasionally meeting with this high schooler once a month to try to help them better understand what the next steps after high school are. You mentioned earlier, Capri, some of these kids don't know what life beyond high school looks like. Is it college? Is it trade school? Is it going straight into the workforce? Like, what is that next step? And so just helping them understand what the best next step for them is. And for right now, we're looking for, like you mentioned, mentors in the fall at Irving High School and New Tech High School in Dallas. And so big picture, everybody has different schedules and amounts of time they can allocate. And one of these 3 programs more than likely is a fit for you. And so if you're interested in all at becoming a volunteer and a mentor, again, I would encourage you to talk to anybody on the board, on the staff, other bigs, and we'll help you figure out what the best fit for you is.
That's right. So just to give a little bit more about Mentor 2.0 at Irving High School, I need about 150 volunteers by August 31st. I checked this morning and I've got 25. So I've got 125 more to get. And then I need 50 at Irving High School as well, too. I mean, I'm sorry, at New Tech High School. So if, community-based program works with kids between the ages of 7 and roughly 14 or 15 when they're first matched. School-based is our elementary program, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. And then Mentor 2.0 is high school program starting in their freshman or sophomore year, and hopefully stay with them till they graduate high school. So what are some ways, Nick, that besides listening to this presentation today, that people can learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Yep. So we do a ton of stuff in the community, both in person and virtually. So we've actually had, this is our 4th of the month kind of interview with a board member to understand more and hear some stories. So if you guys haven't had the chance to listen to the others outside of this one, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, go check those out. Those have been recorded and they're still there. We have other info sessions throughout the year as well that Caprice kind of spearheads. And then we also have a bunch of events. And these events are fun. Like these are networking events with other bigs and other board members at things like the Pro Museum and cool bars in the Dallas area. So if you're interested at all and you want to come see firsthand what it's like and have a similar experience to me where maybe it takes talking to somebody that's part of the program and actually hearing from them what it's like in person and asking some of those questions. We have plenty of events throughout the year that you guys should come to. And whether it's the kind of the virtual info session or in person, we'd love to have you guys anytime, anywhere.
That's great. So I'll give a plug. Today, I had my last virtual info session at noon. It was today, but my June sessions are on the June 8th, the 14th, 20th, and 28th. They all start at 12 o'clock. They just last 30 minutes to see the presentation. So you can go to our social media page or even our website to sign up for one of those as well too. So we talked a little bit about where we have our kids waiting, how to become a big already. Any last closing words, Nick, from you about why people should give back, why get involved?
I just think it's when you look at the numbers and what you're able to do, not just for one kid. Like in my situation, I became a big and I wanted to scale my impact, and I obviously can't be a mentor to 20 kids or a big to 20 kids, but that's why I joined the board, was to try to scale that impact. I think with Big Brothers Big Sisters, what you'll realize as you get involved is your impact is so significant that you just want to find any way that you can scratch and claw to help more. And when you go to board meetings, when you go to our events, the energy, the passion is overwhelming. I think that just speaks to our staff, our board, our volunteers, and what we're doing for these kids. And while we've created all this momentum over the past almost 100 years, we still have a long way to go. And so I would just encourage everybody to, if you have any interest at all, reach out to somebody, ask questions, find out more. And I think you'll very, very quickly see just how impactful you could be with the small amount of your time given up.
Thank you, Nick. I so appreciate your time today and sharing your experience, and also appreciate you being a big and giving back to Tyson. Again, I'm Caprice Hawkins, Director of Recruitment for Big Brothers Big Sisters. You can learn more on our website at bbbstx.org. And I'll also give a little plug for our new Young Professional Association that we started. I'm still looking for members for that. It's a great way to get involved, network, meet more people, and really be part of our mission that we have here at Big Brothers Big Sisters. So thank you everyone for your time, and look forward to hopefully seeing several of you come in with your applications.